Today our topic is Epictetus on what you can and can't control. Epictetus was a Stoic philosopher who lived a long time ago, but his ideas are still very useful today. He taught that the key to a good life is understanding what we can control and what we cannot control. This idea is simple, but it can change the way we live if we really understand it. Let's start by talking about what we can control and what we cannot control. According to Epictetus, the things we can control are our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. These are inside us, and no one can take them away unless we let them. The things we cannot control are everything else: the weather, other people's opinions, the past, the future, and even our own bodies to some extent. These things are outside of us, and no matter how much we want to change them, we often can't. The first step to living a good life, according to Epictetus, is to accept this division. We must stop trying to control the things we cannot control. For example, imagine you are worried about what other people think of you. This is a common problem, but it is also something you cannot control. You can be kind, honest, and hardworking, but you cannot force someone to like you or respect you. If you spend your time and energy trying to control their thoughts, you will only feel frustrated and unhappy. Instead, Epictetus would say, focus on what you can control, your own behavior. Be the best person you can be, and let go of the rest. This does not mean you should not care about others or try to improve your relationships. It means you should not tie your happiness to things outside your control. Another example is the weather. Imagine you have planned a picnic, but on the day of the picnic it starts to rain. You cannot control the rain, and being angry or sad about it will not change anything. What you can control is your reaction. You can choose to be upset, or you can choose to adapt. Maybe you can move the picnic indoors, or maybe you can enjoy the sound of the rain and use the time to relax. The situation is the same, but your attitude makes all the difference. This is what Epictetus means when he says we should focus on what we can control. Now let's talk about why this idea is so powerful. When we try to control things we cannot control, we waste our energy and create unnecessary stress. For example, think about someone who is always worried about the future. They might spend hours imagining all the bad things that could happen, but in the end they cannot control whether those things will happen or not. This kind of worry does not help. It only makes life harder. On the other hand, if we focus on what we can control, we can take action and make our lives better. We can prepare for the future, but we do not need to obsess over it. We can work hard, but we do not need to be afraid of failure. This is the Stoic way of thinking, and it can bring us peace and strength. Epictetus also teaches us that we should not be attached to things outside our control. This does not mean we should not care about anything. It means we should not let those things control us. For example, imagine you have a job that you love, but one day you lose that job. This is a difficult situation, but it is also something you cannot control. If you are too attached to the job, you will feel devastated. But if you remember that your worth does not come from the job, you can handle the situation better. You can focus on what you can control, looking for a new job, improving your skills, or taking time to rest and reflect. The job is important, but it is not everything. This is what Epictetus means by detachment. It is not about not caring. It is about not letting external things dictate your happiness. Another important idea from Epictetus is that we should not blame others for our problems. It is easy to blame others when things go wrong, but this is not helpful. According to Epictetus, we are responsible for our own thoughts and actions. If someone insults us, for example, we cannot control what they say, but we can control how we react. We can choose to be angry, or we can choose to let it go. The insult itself does not hurt us. It is our reaction that causes pain. This is a powerful idea because it puts us in control of our own lives. No matter what happens, we can choose how to respond. This does not mean we should never feel angry or sad. It means we should not let those feelings control us. Epictetus also teaches us to be humble and to accept our limitations. We are not perfect, and we cannot control everything. This is a hard truth, but it is also freeing. When we accept that we cannot control everything, we can stop trying to be perfect. We can make mistakes and learn from them. We can ask for help when we need it. We can be kind to ourselves and others. This is the Stoic way of living, not trying to be perfect, but trying to be better. One of the most famous sayings from Epictetus is, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the core of his philosophy. Life is full of challenges, and we cannot avoid them, but we can choose how we face them. We can choose to be strong, to be kind, to be patient. We can choose to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. This is not easy, but it is possible. And when we live this way, we can find peace and happiness, no matter what happens. In conclusion, Epictetus teaches us that the key to a good life is understanding what we can control and what we cannot. We can control our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. We cannot control the weather, other people's opinions, or the future. When we focus on what we can control, we can live with peace and strength. We can handle challenges, learn from our mistakes, and be kind to ourselves and others. This is the Stoic way of living, and it is as useful today as it was in Epictetus' time. So, let us remember his wisdom and try to live by it. Let us focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. This is the path to a good life.